Whispers in the Shadows. Episode 9. Beneath the Surface. The slow drip of water echoes in the silence. A faint breeze whistles through unseen cracks. Footsteps splash cautiously across shallow puddles. The air was damp and cold, the smell of mildew thick as Maya and Caleb crept through the underground passage. They had followed the strange symbols etched into the walls, each glowing faintly, leading them deeper into what felt like an endless labyrinth. "How much further do you think this goes?" Caleb whispered, his voice barely audible over the distant sound of rushing water. "I don't know," Maya replied, her fingers brushing against the rough stone walls. The symbols on her wrists had begun to pulse again, faint but steady. "But whatever's down here, it's important. I can feel it." The dim light from Caleb's flashlight flickered, and he smacked it with his palm. "Great. If this dies, we're stuck in the dark." Maya stopped suddenly, holding up a hand. Caleb froze, his breath catching. "Do you hear that?" she asked. A low, guttural growl echoes, followed by the faint skittering of claws on stone. Caleb tightened his grip on the flashlight, his knuckles white. "Please tell me that's your stomach." Maya shook her head, her eyes scanning the darkness ahead. "We're not alone." The growl grew louder, and shadows began to shift at the edge of the flashlight's beam. Maya stepped forward cautiously, the symbols on her wrists glowing brighter. "Stay behind me," she said, her voice firm. "Maya, this is a terrible plan," Caleb muttered, but he followed her lead. As they advanced, the growling stopped abruptly, replaced by an eerie silence. The shadows ahead parted, revealing a massive chamber. In the center stood a stone altar, its surface etched with the same glowing symbols that marked Maya's wrists. "What is this place?" Caleb asked, his voice hushed. Maya approached the altar, her eyes drawn to a small object resting in the center, a jagged shard of obsidian, its edges glinting with an otherworldly light. The moment her fingers brushed against it, a shock of energy shot through her, and her vision blurred. A sudden, piercing hum rose, accompanied by disembodied whispers. She stumbled back, clutching her head as images flooded her mind, fractured memories of the Veil, the Watcher, and something far more ancient lurking in the shadows. "Maya," Caleb's voice cut through the chaos, and she felt his hands steadying her. She blinked, the visions fading, and looked up at him. "It's a piece of the Veil," she said breathlessly. "A fragment of whatever holds this world together." Caleb frowned. "Why would it be down here? And why does it feel like a trap?" The ground beneath them rumbled, and the shadows around the chamber began to coalesce, taking form. Figures emerged, tall, twisted shapes with hollow eyes and jagged limbs. "Maya," Caleb said, his voice shaking, "we need to go, now." The figures advanced, their movements jerky and unnatural. Maya clenched the shard tightly, the symbols on her wrists blazing with light. "I think they're protecting it," she said, her voice steady despite the terror rising in her chest. "They don't want us to take it." "Then maybe we leave it," Caleb suggested, inching toward the exit. Maya shook her head. "If this shard is connected to the Veil, we need it. It might be the only way to fix what's happening." The creatures surrounded them, their hollow eyes glowing faintly. One stepped forward, its voice a guttural hiss. "The shard belongs to the Veil. You are unworthy." Maya stepped forward, holding up her glowing wrists. "I'm part of the Veil, whether I like it or not. If this shard is connected to it, then it belongs to me." The creature hesitated, its form flickering like a distorted image. "You are fractured. Incomplete. The shard will destroy you." "Maybe," Maya said. "But if I don't try, everything will be destroyed anyway." The creature let out an ear-piercing shriek, and the others lunged. Caleb grabbed Maya's arm, pulling her back as she clutched the shard tightly. "Run!" Caleb shouted, dragging her toward the exit. Footsteps splash through water as the creatures give chase, their guttural cries echoing through the passage. Maya's heart pounded as they ran, the shard's energy coursing through her veins. The passage ahead seemed to stretch endlessly, and the creatures were closing in. "We're not going to make it," Caleb shouted, glancing over his shoulder. Maya stopped abruptly, turning to face the oncoming figures. "Keep going," she said. "What? No." Caleb grabbed her arm, but she shook him off. "Trust me," she said, her voice firm. She raised the shard, its light blinding as the creatures lunged. The energy surged, and a shockwave rippled through the passage, throwing the creatures back into the shadows. A deafening hum, followed by silence. When the dust settled, Caleb approached cautiously, his face pale. What just happened? Maya lowered the shard, her hands trembling. I don't know, but we're not safe yet. The symbols on her wrists glowed faintly, the energy within them more unstable than ever. She looked at Caleb, determination in her eyes. We need to find the other pieces. Caleb sighed, shaking his head. Of course we do, because why wouldn't this get more complicated? Maya managed a small smile. You're not backing out now, are you? He rolled his eyes but offered a hand to help her up. Not a chance. As they made their way back through the passage, the shard pulsed in Maya's hand, a constant reminder of the power and danger they now carried. The faint hum of energy grows louder, intertwined with distant whispers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Stay tuned for episode 10 as Maya and Caleb continue their search for the remaining shards, uncovering deeper truths about the veil and themselves.